are dealing with poetry, and both the poets have a very, very strong sense of rhythm. So normally one associates rhythm with editing, but what kind of conversations did you have with the scriptwriter or the camera person in terms of thinking about rhythm, of the way you shot it or the way it was scripted? Just curious.
Camera person, of course, is the same for both films, coincidentally.
Actually, in our case, the poems were pre-recorded. And everyone in the unit, except the poems that you see reenacted with the four boys or something, all Surve's poetry was pre-recorded. And we had a cassette, and everyone in the unit had a cassette for many days. Like Kishore Kadam, when he speaks using exactly the same tone. I mean, same rhythm. He's not imitating Surve. But you time Kishore Kadam and you time Narayan Surve, and you will find that it is 3 minutes and 71 seconds. I mean, 21 seconds, or the reading time. Still their pauses are right. The main thing in poetry is the pause. It's not what is written. The pause, alteration of pause can change the poem. So what we were extremely careful about was the pauses. That if you are going to make any kind of matching, it is the pauses. And what happened was that my editor Arunabo, who is a Bengali and didn't know a word of Marathi except what he has picked up here and there, he loves poetry and understands poetry extremely well, but Bengali poetry. But he was able to transfer his understanding of Bengali poetry to understanding the pauses in Marathi. Because in all great poetry, the silence has the same value. So it was really fantastic to watch Arunabo cut the soundtrack. I mean, he would, because after the modulations die, you are going to keep a certain amount so that it is registered as a pause. Now, this pause definition is not given by anything else. You have to have a sense of poetry in your mind. And in Arunabo, I found a gem of a person. I mean, no one can cut silence that I have worked with, with such ease as Arunabo. And cutting silence is no joke. Cutting sound is alright. So in that sense, and Mrunal was very sensitive to this because he loved the poetry, he loved the man, he got along famously with Surve and with Kishore. So there was, and we were on 35, so there was an electric charge when you say roll, and then before that you have played back the sound, and then there is a spark at the end of when you say cut. Then that makes a shot, which has, so we were taking shots, we were not rolling. So that way it was a very tightly controlled film, both in terms of sound, in terms of post, as well as in terms of shooting. I mean, whether it's worked or not is up to, but I feel that I'm very happy and I have no complaints about both the camera and cutting of the film.
I don't think I read the script of this, of a few things I know about her at all. You never gave me any script to read, right? I just vaguely knew that. So she would say, okay, now this sequence is to be used for this. But the music, it's actually we are working with text on screen and people singing. There's no recitation at all in that. So the songs were recorded separately. It was just like, what I got when we were working here, I think in this building, no, that behind building which is now been torn down. So there was a bunch of songs and certain visual scenes, like okay, there are these men sitting around a campfire, or there's just these shots of just empty desert, or of the highway, or of Mehrangarh Fort. There were certain sequences which Anjali said, okay, I want to use this sequence with this song. And then we constructed it. And of course we knew that we have this time, like the entire film has to be 30 minutes. I don't think we really were allowed to make it longer than that. So we worked within that. But I don't think there was any lip sync or any. I don't think you. Did you know at the time of shooting which song? I mean, obviously you did,
Yeah,
but so I think that's what she's asking about the rhythms, whether when you were shooting.
So for me also, like as she said, during the research itself, I was led by the songs that a lot of the people I met were singing. So the poetry for me was a lot of the sung poetry rather than the read poetry. The text we put in later during editing, in fact, as a juxtaposition to have Meera's voice in the film. That's what we thought, that she's kind of responding and counterpointing to the other things that are happening in the film. So a lot of the imagery that is in the film was led by the music, and I remember working on that a lot with Mrinal, because again, as he said, you're shooting film, so we were going more with the emotion. I don't so much remember the rhythm, but the emotion of the music, the imagery, the landscape, and the trajectory of the script.
Thank you very much. You people have been such a patient and receptive audience. I hope you enjoyed the evening.